Mr. Nameco right there, I'm Dustin. Oh, it's close. Fantasy football is almost here. We're talking about our quarterback tiers and rankings. Check out all of our other tiers and rankings, our cheat sheet, our draft guide. It's going to be up on the site very shortly. We're putting it all together, and it's free, so get onto our site, download our draft guide, download our cheat sheet. Mr. Nameco.
Hey, commissioners, or people that play in fantasy football leagues. You know what you need? You need a trophy or a belt or something for the winner. All that you do is take a little bit of the entry and you put it towards this. And you know what? Whenever you win, it means that much more. There's nothing more that I like than Dustin having to hand me a trophy after I win a league where he's a commissioner. So get on to Fantasy Jocks, fantasyjocks.com. Check out all the stuff they have to offer. They have winner, loser prizes. It's great stuff all around. Just check it out, buy some stuff. It's amazing.
And we're giving this belt away if you go to our Facebook page and like and share the running back video on there. You have a chance to win that belt. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks. Tier 1, it's pretty simple. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. It was kind of surprising at how many people were kind of writing off Aaron Rodgers at about like week 5 last year, and he definitely had the last laugh there. And with Brady, with no suspension, he gets the full games. He's got Brandon Cooks. I mean, it's going to be a great year for him if he can stay healthy. So.
Tier 2, we got Breeze and Luck, and we've seen some places have Luck over Breeze, but we necessarily couldn't do that. The fact of the matter is, there hasn't been, Luck did have shoulder surgery, and there hasn't been any real updates on him since July 10th, and it's just, all the quietness is a little scary, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's just enough to make him below a guy that threw for over 5,000 yards and 37 touchdowns last year. So obviously Drew Brees is still a beast. I know Cooks isn't there, but still, Thomas will be great. I mean, us, it's very close, and that's why they're in Tier 2 together.
Tier 3, first guy, Russell Wilson. Let's not forget, this is one thing that always happens, is the overcorrection. I mean, there was an overcorrection for Matt Ryan last year, and then now there's going to be an overcorrection going back this way. You know, Russell Wilson was, you know, almost consensus number 3 quarterback off the board last year, and now I feel like too many people are going to overcorrect and forget how good he was when he was healthy. He was not healthy last year. He was playing with a bum knee, and he still threw for over 4,200 yards, rushed for over 250 yards. Russell Wilson, when he's healthy, is still a top quarterback. We got him first guy in Tier 3. And then Marcus Mariota. This is one of the most fun kind of QB ones that you can take this year. Because of the unknown, we don't really know what his ceiling is yet. They added Eric Decker. They still have the great 2 running backs. They still got Sharp. They still got Matthews. They added the rookie Davis. I mean, it's just, they still got Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker, great O-line. I mean, the pieces are there.
Right.
The pieces are there for them to potentially even maybe top 5, top 7 offense in terms of scoring. So Tennessee, the ultimate kind of fun team this year for the offense, just because of all the weapons. It's going to be fun to see kind of what they can do this year.
Tier 4, I'm talking about 2 youngins. The first one's going to be Winston for Tampa Bay, and we've seen him ranked all over the place. I mean, some people have him as high as number 6. I've seen him at like 14. You know, for us, he's going to be solid. He had a good year last year. They did add the weapons. DeShaun Jackson, I think, will really help him out because that definitely, safeties are going to have to consider his speed over the top. O.J. Howard is a reason why people are ranking him high, but, you know, you'll see on the tight end show as well if you haven't watched that yet. It's tough for a rookie tight end to have that much impact, but still, Winston extremely solid going into his 3rd year. There's certainly upside there. The picks, though, little bit concerning, so hopefully you can knock those down. And the other guy I want to talk about is Derek Carr. Do not overdraft Derek Carr because the Raiders paid him a ridiculous amount of money. That's the going rate for a quarterback, and he's very good. He's really, really good, don't get me wrong, but it's just, he's getting paid more than Rodgers and Brady. Obviously, he isn't better than them, so don't come into the draft and just because you heard about him all over the radio and all over the TV this year and all over the internet, just don't draft him as such. He still is a 4,000 yard, 30 touchdown kind of guy, potential.
All right, as we move into Tier 5, we're kind of getting into the QB2 range. First guy I want to talk about, Carson Wentz. You know, in terms of, you know, the mid-tier kind of QB2s, he's the one that's kind of most exciting to me just because they added Alshon Jeffrey. They added Blunt to that offense. You know, they still got Matthews. They got Torrey Smith.
Who Matthews is a better number 2 than number 1 receiver we're talking about.
And I think that will help all around. And if they can get any type of running game, and I think they can utilize Sproles a little bit better. I mean, when talking about pieces, kind of like with Tennessee, the pieces are there for the Eagles as well. You know, will Wentz really jump up huge from last year. You know, who knows, but he did throw in a sneaky 150 rushing yards last year. So Wentz is still an interesting QB2. And then Eli Manning, I mean, it's so hard to know what you're going to get out of Eli because he can be inconsistent with his interceptions, but adding Brandon Marshall can only help things. But, you know, there's definitely some, you know, I don't want to, oh, he's got Brandon Marshall, he's going to jump up 5 spots in our rankings because they still have a very suspect running game. So Eli, you know, he's a guy that you should be targeting as a QB2, but nothing more.
All right, as we look at tier 6, I'm going to start with Tyrod Taylor. And people are like, why is he so high? He only threw for 3,000 yards. But this is fantasy, so all stats combined really count. And he rushed for almost 600. So if you take that and you extrapolate that to passing yards, that's like almost another 2,000. So he's like a 5,000 yard passer with no rushing yards. You could look at it that way if that's making any sense. But it's stats in general. I know he's not the greatest quarterback, and that's why he's ranked in tier 6. But overall, he does a lot with his legs, which certainly helps his value. Then Joe Flacco. This was a guy that I was like, ew, in our initial ranking summit, Dustin was talking about. It's like, ew, I don't know, Flacco isn't that great. But Dustin made a very good point. Good for you for once.
Hey, thanks.
Are they they're bringing in, you know, they have Macklin there now, which is certainly interesting. They have Dustin's boy, Danny Woodhead, which is the dump down, you get some more passing yards. And, you know, they have that Perryman kid that, you know, was banged up as a rookie a few years ago. It's just, they look like they're going more to a passing attack. So he should be getting more attempts, which could mean more yards. And again, at this point in the draft where you're looking, it's a QB2 with a teeny bit upside.
He could have a career year. He could have a career year.
He could.
Tier 7, the rookie Watson out there with Houston. This one's interesting. I mean, and it kind of, not quite to the level of Dak, just because I do think that Dallas offense is better, but Houston has some weapons. So, and we're talking about, you know, when you look at what rookie quarterbacks that have had success fantasy-wise over the last handful of years, they're normally the ones that can throw in the rushing yards. Watson rushed for over 600 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns for Clemson last year. There's something there. I mean, you can't get too excited about a rookie quarterback, but in terms of where you're getting him at the draft, you know, you take a gamble on him and just see what happens. But because of what he can do with his rushing yards, he's interesting. And then Carson Palmer at 24, kind of definitely a down year for him last year. He was banged up. He's 1 year older. Is the potential still there? Yes, but I mean, we got him down here for a reason.
All right, as we go into tier 8, I mean, I'm sorry for all of the fans of all of these teams in tier 8. It's so ugly. But the best out of a bad bunch. And for my QB in fantasy, I like to obviously have a QB that's going to be on what I consider a solid team that's going to score points, get a lot of wins, because they're going to be doing a lot of it. I don't think any of these teams are going to get a lot of wins. I don't think any of them are going to be high scoring. But the best out of a bad bunch is going to be Hoyer for San Francisco. Shanahan's there. I feel safest, I guess, about his job. Shanahan does like the passing attack. Carson's over there now, who used to work with Kyle when he was on the Redskins, so he's going to target him a lot. So best out of the bad bunch, Hoyer here. Rest are blah.
Tier 9's not any prettier, but I do want to talk about Chicago just for a second. You know, definitely stings for Mike Glennon. He gets brought over, gets the money, thinks he's going to be the starter, and then they trade up to get Mitchell Trubisky, who's interesting and was very good with North Carolina and has a legit shot of taking over the job at any point. So we actually just had a little bit of mini debate about this one. I think Trubisky should be higher just because he's the only one you're getting excited about. I mean, Glennon's not that good.
Well, Dusty Bates said there's 0 chance he'd draft Glennon, but I still think for rankings this year, who's going to have better numbers over the year, I think it'll be Glennon. But
I think Glennon's leash is going to be short, and the first game he throws multiple picks or whatever, the whole stadium is going to be cheering for Trubisky.
True, but I don't think he really gets a start until the end of the year.
But maybe it happens week 3, 4. What he can do with his legs, because he has the legs potential as well. I think the only one that gives you anything you're getting excited about is Trubisky. So
tell them about the contest again with Fantasy Jocks.
So get on to our Facebook page, share the running backs video, get onto our website. That was terrible. Get the cheat sheet, check out all our tiers and rankings, subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get more subscribers this year.
Please share. I know this is the hidden thing, but we need, help us out with some subs. Pen flips. Do another one, Dustin. Or fail. Here you go. Don't fail. Share!